Luar tu gelap.
Macam mana pula boleh gelap? Bilik ni elok aja ada elektrik.
Teman kat air.
Pakailah lampu phone you.
Dah try tak kuat. Dia bangun dari katil, buka pintu bilik. Koridor gelap gelita. Deretan lampu kecemasan malap bernyala. Dia jerit ke arah salah satu lorong.
Hello?
Ya, itu dia tuan-tuan dan puan-puan. Terima kasih kerana setia dengan drama kilat.
Drama kilat.
Di depan laptop.
Selamat malam.
Selamat malam.
Menanggalkan earphone, laptop ditutup.
Dah cukup lama. Mana jumpa you?
Aku nak jumpa kau.
Berdepan dengan you.
kau.
Tak lagi video call. Untuk you.
kau
Di depan mata.
di depan mata.
Merindui I.
Merinduiku.
Drama kilat.
Drama kilat.
Di pentas lakon, berdiri dua orang pelakon.
Aku sedang berjalan ingin meletakkan segelas cawan di atas meja. Rakan lakon kuno di sana sedang meletup bermonolog. Spotlight dan setiap mata bertumpu pada dirinya. Sekitarnya gelap gelita, termasuk aku. Aku lepaskan cawan supaya ia jatuh dan pecah, supaya segala tumpuan datang ke arahku. Biarpun di dalam gelap, tetapi genggamanku erat. Di dalam gelap, cawan itu tanganku.
Drama kilat.
Di tepi sinki,
Mula tangan kanan,
Kemudian tangan kiri
diusap,
dibelai,
digaru,
dirabu
sehingga tangan kita bersih.
hanyut rakit batu tenggelam, minyak ada berbuli-buli. Matahari sakit, bulan demam. Itulah tanda dunia tak suci. Drama kilat.
Drama kilat.
Di sebuah konti radio di ibu kota.
Apa itu cinta dalam konteks drama radio?
Apabila suara-suara bertindih dan berpadu.
Apabila suara-suara bertindih dan berpadu.
Seperti ini.
Tadi itu.
Ya. Seperti itu.
Seperti itu. Seperti itu.
Seperti itu.
Tadi.
Seperti itu.
Seperti itu.
Tadi itu. Moga ada lagi.
Drama kilat.
Drama kilat.
Sewaktu video call, dia sentuh skrin.
Aku sentuh bahumu, lenganmu, dadamu, pinggulmu, pipimu, betismu. Aku sentuh jiwamu, lidahmu, nafsumu, hatimu, niatmu, kalbumu.
Drama killer.
Sungguh minyak menerangkan pelita, hendaklah jua panjang sumbunya. Sungguh pun banyak sahabatnya kita, hilang satu pilu rasanya.
Aku lihat dia sedang duduk di kerusi, baca surat khabar di waktu pagi. Secawan kopi di atas meja masih berasap. Atau asap tu dari rokok yang terselit di jari kirinya yang memegang permukaan tepi surat khabar. Surat khabar itu sudah tiada seperti dia.
Drama killer.
Drama killer.
Beri saya emotikon rindu, emotikon sayang, emotikon kasih, emotikon berahi dan emotikon cinta.
Ini dia. Nah.
Tidak. Bukan.
Tapi kenapa?
Ini bukan emotikon rindu. Bukan emotikon sayang. Bukan emotikon kasih. Bukan emotikon berahi. Bukan emotikon cinta.
Apa maksudmu?
Ini rindu, sayang, kasih, berahi dan cinta. Awak, bukan tu yang saya nak.
Drama killer.
Drama killer to.
Drama killer.
Dalam gelap, aku lihat cahaya. Kereta api kami menuju keluar terowong. Silau putih bertukar biru. Pohon-pohon dan rumput yang melekat di lereng bukit membiaskan cahaya hijau pada wajah-wajah yang memandang keluar, termasuk aku. Deretan tiang elektrik berlatarkan gunung ganang di kejauhan. Batu-batu di atas landasan kaku beku. Stesen di depan menanti ketibaan kami.
Drama killer.
Drama killer.
Hello everyone, welcome to the INXO Online Talk series, Arts Beyond Distance. We are in our season 2, episode 4. I'm Ejen from INXO Arts and Culture Foundation. I'll be the moderator. And this series has been running for 9 episodes right now. And the Arts Beyond Distance is a platform created to bring distance closer. We try to feature one Malaysian artist every evening and speak to them about the process of creation, the challenges they face, and the motivation behind what they do. There were a lot of great feedback on how it's inspiring, and we hope to continue to inspire as many. So today we're very lucky to have Ridhwan Saidi with us. Hello, Ridhwan.
Hello, hi.
Hi. So would
hello.
you like
Hi.
to introduce yourself a little bit on what you do, your background, and yeah.
I'm a novelist since 2011, and then this past 2-3 years, I started doing theater.
Mm-hmm.
So I oscillate between like writing and making, and what I like about these two modes of making like works is that like with writing, you have this like solitary a solitary joy, like reading like dia macam very solitary, but with theater it's very like collective work, like this and otherness and very physical. or
Mm.
yeah. So I jump around between these two kind
Yeah.
of
So we can
modes
say
or
it's
something.
between
Yeah.
literature and theater making. These two worlds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So which one do you enjoy more?
I enjoy. No, I think it's a balance lah, because it's like very contra because even though I make theater, I'm also the playwright. So when I write, it's not as like very solitary as writing a novel, because a novel you might take like a year or a lot of time lah. And one thing I realize is that when I write a novel, it's very like for reader. But when I write a theater piece, after I finish writing the draft, usually I will like ask a few friends or some actors to read it, because I need to listen back to what I just wrote. So it's a different kind of writing or literature. So one is very sound based, one is very like visual reading kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So for those who joined us earlier in the very beginning, you hear this drama Kilat. That's by Ridhwan, a recent project that he's working on. Maybe you want to tell us a little bit about that? So what's
for drama Kilat, basically, it's very impulsive, because for Moka Mocha Ink and Chaos Now, we just did a theater like in 2-3 days before RMO PKP, so before the lockdown. So and then suddenly you need to, from that like point, I need to change it to this
format,
another mode, another format or another lifestyle. But somehow usually and usually every year during Ramadan I will take this like writing mode. So but before I jump from like this theater making to this writing thing, I think when I do this drama Kilat, the idea is that I want to, it's like 50-50. There's this sense of togetherness, but there's this sense of also like longing or something, because by using audio, even though because for drama Kilat, all the audio is being recorded by the readers or actors from their home lah. So I mix it and do the sound design to give some sense of world. And so basically it's like some sense of togetherness in a non-togetherness.
So
for this drama Kilat,
it's more like a response after the MCO that you create drama Kilat, or
it's during the first week. It is very that's
there is this work you mentioned before MCO. You're actually staging a work in Kongsi KL, is it?
Yes.
So
it's called Masa Manis.
Yeah, that's Masa Manis. So that is the work that is going to show online. I understand you're going to show 3 works of yours online starting next Friday. So what are these work?
So for these 3 works, we call it Buka Archive. So basically, when I started doing theater like that, just 2-3 years, I started to realize that in Malaysia, usually the archiving is like bad, because when I go to the library or the National Archive, usually there's this like hole or something. There's this like, it's incomplete usually. So whenever I do theater, I have this friend called Amirul Rahman. So he usually do the documentation lah. We do documentation. So for these 3 pieces, actually, all 3 of them is like the my full length work, because sometimes I do Teater Modular, which is playlets, like 10 to 20 minutes, and then sometimes I do this like one act play, like double bill. So that is the shorter play. But for all these 3 Buka Archive thing, it's
oops, I think we lost him. So what we were talking about was that there is this 3 works of Ridhwan that he's going to put it online, and then we can actually watch it. It's the full-length performance that he created past 3 years. So it's 2018, 19, and 2020. So basically, it's these three that you can see on the screen. There is Stereo Gen Mine, and there's Hamlet, Fansuri, and then Masa Manis. So all these three works will be available online starting from next Friday if you want to see them full length. So yeah, please do remember to log into this. Yeah, I was actually telling everyone like this three works is going to show full length online starting next Friday. So we will share this link after this talk, and you can actually keep this link and log in to watch this starting next Friday, right? So all these three are your full length work past 3 years. Yeah. So this Masa Manis is the one that just staged the day before lockdown, right?
2-3 days before the official lockdown.
Yeah, exactly. So for more information about what Ridhwan do, you can actually go on to Moka Mocha Ink. So MOKAMOCHAINK, mokamochaink.com. We will share the link also later, so don't worry. So from Moka Mocha Ink, we can actually see there are different things that you approach. There were Teater Modular, Teater Normcore, Pesta Playlet. There are a series of different categories. So would you like to explain a little more? Because it seems there's quite a lot of things. So Moka Mocha started as a publishing company, or how does this whole thing work? There were so many different categories and different things that you do.
So yeah, Moka Mocha Ink is a publishing house. It's like independent indie, or like in 2011. There's this like some wave back then. So at the same time, maybe because of this like different program or module, because my base when I study architecture. So I think because what makes architecture, I don't know, it's like in between arts and science also. So the what can I say? This sense of scale lah. Because when I do, for example, Teater Modular, Teater Normcore, and Pesta Playlet. So it's actually a different mode of scale. When I started with Teater Modular, of course I started with something like 10 minutes or 20 minutes. So it's gradually grow lah. So and then I started doing like the double bill, and then I started doing full length. My first full length in 2018. So the Teater Modular started in 2017. And then Pesta Playlet we did it like last year, 2019. So Pesta Playlet is more, the scale is the Pesta lah. It's like more big than just some mini festival or something happen lah.
So all these three, Teater Modular, Teater Normcore, and Pesta Playlet are to do with the theater productions, but in different scale, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So so for those of you following the video, you can actually look into the website. It's full of a lot of interesting things. So there were also some publications that you did, right? So with your works, Okay, so basically we actually have 10 envelopes here tonight. So you can actually pick from here. There were 10 different questions. So we can take it from there. So any number that you prefer out of 1 to 10.
Number 3.
3? Okay, 3. Let's see. Okay. Surprisingly, I think we have continuously artists picking number 3 as the first question for 3 nights. Okay. So art is about beauty. What do you think about this? Do you agree or you don't? Or do you have anything to say?
Beauty. Because in philosophy usually you will try to achieve like beauty or truth or something, but I think some sense beauty or to appreciate beauty, I think because I think I don't know macam mana nak kata dia beauty. I think beauty is important in art lah, according to whoever makes it, because for me myself, when I watch some other things, there are things that I like and I think it's like it's not about beauty and ugliness, but how to say it? Sometimes things that are you know like ugly is also beautiful.
Yeah.
So how to tell lah, macam I think dia kena ada something about truthfulness tu kot, macam even though it's ugly tapi because it's truthful dia jadi beauty balik.
Yeah.
So when I said about beauty, it's not about beautiful like macam advertising ads or something.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
real beauty.
I get what you yeah. So it's like, because usually when we talk about beauty, we usually put it in opposition of like ugliness. But maybe what you're trying to explain is where you can, through art, you can actually see beauty in ugliness. That kind. Yeah. So it is not like the standard understanding towards the word beauty itself. Or it's more about truthfulness that you can find in all different things. So it's not restrained to beauty itself. Is that what you agree? Yeah. So
because it's like macam like for example, like nature, when you see nature, it's like when you see it from afar, it looks like macam very macam mana nak kata dia macam tenang. But when you go up close, there's like very chaotic, like very like you see the apa macam the world there. So that's beauty lah. There are some things that you see from up close and some you see from far away. Like the sea, you see like very straight line from afar, but when you're in the middle of it, it's like very bergelora. Yeah. So where do you stand, or where you are in time and space to perceive something will define what is beauty from that position.
Yeah. Where do you usually find inspiration, or what inspired you actually? Because when you speak about, when you go into nature, when you look at the sea, there is this, calmness, and actually it's not that what you see on the surface. So that actually, that question came to me, like, where do you usually, what inspired you usually?
I don't know. It's hard to detect, but when it happens, I think dia beri perasaan yang I know I got something, usually through reading and through seeing, because when we see because we have many macam panca indera, macam hearing, listening, but seeing is like the most like macam we see it's like very macam mana usually people don't listen much, but seeing is like all looking, because seeing is another level of looking. So seeing and then hearing and listening. So there are many layers of how you want to use your body or the panca indera lah. So inspiration for me, to me lah, when I want to do something, I try to macam kena fokus bagi macam mana our sensibilities need to macam kena open up, because sometimes it's just in front of you. You see it every day, but you see it like macam every day, but and then suddenly you realize that there's something either weird or strange or something about it lah. So it inspire lah.
So basically we can say like you have to open up all your senses to feel everything that's surrounding, and all these different how to say things that gives inspiration when you actually feels it carefully.
For example, like when other than looking or seeing, listening, like sometimes it's like macam sometimes you feel it, sometimes you like it's apa macam it happens intellectually, like it happens when you read. Sometimes it doesn't hit you in the heart, but it hit you in the like in the mind or something. So I think this inspiration came like throughout all your body, like sometimes when you touch something, you feel it, the inspiration, something like that. So you need to open up to all your like layers of body lah, because in our body there's many system, like we breathe and then we eat and our skin. So there are many layers of system, but they are very complex. But somehow they feel like it's very simple. Like we are breathing, it's very simple, but the whole thing behind it is very, I don't know. Yeah, it's very complex. It's like part of nature, and yeah, it's inspiring like to be, alive.
Yeah. Okay, let's maybe pick another question then. 1, 2, 4, 5.
Oh, another question.
7, 8, 9,
Maybe
10.
7.
7?
7.
Okay. So this series, all the artists left odd numbers. All right. Okay, here. Are you a risk taker?
I think in art there's supposed to be this, what they call it, like a sense of danger, because even though yes, of course, in physically it's supposed to be a safe space when you do something. Like when you do theater, I don't like macam like physical violence that is like literal violence, because in theater I realize most actors they like to they will still do this imitation of reality. So whenever there's this scene about violence, they will try to embody the violence and just lose it up and without control or some sense of, I don't know, because they think when they embody that thing, it's the real, from their perspective, it's real. But to me, because theater is about the relationship between the performer and the spectator or audience. But sometimes when they do that, when I see it, I don't feel it, because I think the most important thing in theater is like when violence happen or brutality, it's I prefer it something that is more not subtle. It's like, the macam it doesn't need to be too literal and out. Yeah. So the I think in dalam konteks risk taker ni, in art there's supposed to be some sense of danger that you try to take risk in terms of something, but you need to know how to, I don't know, give order to it or something like that. Like you need to know how to make it work. Yeah, because we've seen in writing a novel, in fiction, unreliable narrator is normal. Like they are like very, like in the film, like No Country for Old Men, like the novelist is like Cormac McCarthy. There's this blood meridian. It's very Americana, it's like very violent, like very, but the author needs to know how to handle it, because it's not just like random, you just embrace evil, because you cannot, for me, evil doings need to have, or evil acts, there has to be some sort of, I don't know, framework or something. You cannot just embrace evil like truthfully or purely in your work lah. Because I think as a maker, I think, or accidentally you embrace evil without you realizing it. Evil acts like for fun. I think you need to know what you are doing.
Yeah, I think that's very important for all the art maker. No matter in any art forms, actually, it's very important. That's a very good point. Okay, so let's try one more.
Maybe number
More
8.
Number 8.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Forest or ocean?
Forest
So
or
what do you
ocean?
prefer?
I think maybe ocean.
Yeah, and why?
Ocean. Because when I wrote, I have like 6 novels. Like 2 of them is called like America and Brazil. It's like 2 country because America, I won this like short film competition, and I managed to go to like Miami in Florida. So I see the macam punya spring break, during spring break there's this like macam very rough lah. And then in 2014 there's this buku fiksi a book publisher by Amir Muhammad, and for that year they have this program that is like they pick someone that is me for this first effort. Each year they will give you like money and to go anywhere in the world, and you use that money and you go back. When you get back, you write a novel lah. So I choose Brazil because in 2014 there's this like World Cup, and I don't like football. I'm not into that like, macam football lah. Tapi but for me, when I heard like football in in Brazil, it's because football in Brazil is like macam a religion.
Yeah.
Like it's the same with the macam dia punya beach punya pantai punya suasana. Dua tu football and pantai dia memang macam ritual ya.
Yeah.
So and then so when I wrote Brazil, I choose to go to Rio de Janeiro for a month, untuk sebulan, dan saya I stay there, I observe and I managed to compare the macam Copacabana and Ipanema with Miami Beach. The culture, this one is very rough. This one, Brazil is very sexy. The nature, the landscape is very curvy, and it's very golden. So and somehow why I choose Brazil, because it's on the other side of the globe compared to Malaysia lah. Because there's this film, Wong Kar Wai lah. I think Happy Together or something. They go to Argentina. And then suddenly the character macam remember Hong Kong or something. The image is like upside down. So when I was in Brazil, when I remember like Malaysia or my home, it's like in the upside down punya punya image lah.
So that after that trip in Brazil, you wrote a book, or
I wrote the novel.
Which work was that?
It's called Brazil, so the title of the novel is Brazil,
Is it available?
Is
it available on the website, or is it available anywhere that people can read that?
I think maybe can get it from buku fiksi.
Okay.
From the publisher.
Yeah. So what did you wanted to add on earlier? So.
Because in the forest there's this nyamuk, mosquito. So I think I just ocean.
Yeah. So for those live audience, you can actually join us in voting. Like you can also choose your favorite, the forest or ocean. It's just a random poll that we're running. Yes. Yeah. Right. And were you local of KL, or were you born somewhere near the sea? Or
no, I was born in Klang.
Oh, in Klang.
So, but I live within like Klang Valley lah, because when I was in school, I macam pindah randah like 5 school, 5, 6.
So you didn't grow up by the sea?
It's all around. No.
No. Okay.
No.
Okay. So let's try one more maybe.
One more.
1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. I think.
Number 9.
9. Okay, so let's see. Okay. Oh, this may be related to the one earlier. So what does art means to you?
Art is, I don't know, it gives you some sense of like macam maybe freedom. Because with art you use your imagination, or you try to project something. Even if it's your memory, you project it as like something. Or when you make art, even though the base is your memory, but somehow that memory is like turns into an imagination or something like. So I don't know how to tell, but memory and imagination is like very. It gives you like some sort of some freedom lah. Because I think when we live in this reality, actually it's part of other people's macam ni, imagination. So when you use like social media, there is someone engineered that from their imagination and you live in it. And or when you live in this world, when you use money or something, that is some part of like other people's imagination and you live it. But so at the same time, you as each individual or as a human being, you also can gain some, you can break free from that imagination and you can have your own like imagination through art lah. Yeah.
Is that what keeps you in the arts? Because of that imagination world that you can live in?
It's I don't know. When I create something, I don't want to live in it. So it's like maybe more of the act of making it. Because when so sometimes I read this novel. It's called Motopia. It's like a dystopian fiction, very bleak. There's no hope or something. So I enjoy creating it, but I don't want to live in it. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you enjoy the feeling of creating that imagination world for someone else to live in, and not for yourself. And then you live in a world that is created by someone else's imagination. That kind of like double layer or multiple layer situation.
Yeah. Maybe we all can like macam jump around. Like don't stick with this. Don't just like stick with the same imagination.
Yeah. I think that is really something very interesting, because also in this era, I think there are so many facts. Sometimes we don't even know if the facts is true, but there are so many facts. Everything you just type online, you find so many answers. But then in the world of art, it's where you can actually expand that boundaries of imagination and try to have different layer into one same thing, different perspective into one same thing. I think that's also something that arts bring to the table. Yeah.
And then when I said about art, because I just realized, I just know the word playwright. Actually, back in the days, it's the same as like macam shipwright or wheelwright or wainwright. Wright means maker. So basically when I wrote playwright / theater maker, basically playwright in the old days they are theater makers as well. But when we came to our like macam industrial or modern era where there's this like specialization, so the playwright is only, it's being reserved to only you just writing, but and then there came this like director or all other this specialization. The same thing happens with like macam architecture also. Back then there's no engineer, but during the, I don't know, when they found metal or something, engineer. So I think as an artist, I think we need to, or maybe for me lah, I try to break free from that like specialization, because I think it's a modern convention. Because when you want to create, you just create. You do. But of course, you need to study the history or do some research. And I think, especially in Malaysia, when making art, I think scientific thinking or reasoning is very important in a way that sometimes I think art in Malaysia is very sentimental. There's too much feeling that you use sentiment. Because for me, I try to avoid sentiment, because sentiment is a very dangerous thing, because you can use it both ways. Because advertising use sentiment. Sometimes when you want to macam racism is based on sentiment. So when you make art, I think the idea is to macam or not make art. When I do art, I think I try to like use like scientific, not scientific. I try to make it not unsentimental, because I think it's like macam yang scientific tadi, because you can detach, somehow you can detach it from that situation and analyze it. But of course, feeling is important. But I think in Malaysia, mostly the people are very macam sentimental. Yeah.
When you create your theatre works, do you usually direct as well?
Yeah. For it started with Teater Modular. So during Teater Modular, I know nothing about theatre, so I write, and a few friends direct it. Macam direct Walid Ali, ada Q Katina, and a few others. So I learned from that lah. So from that 1 whole year or 2 years, the Teater Modular. So after watching other people direct, so I started. I feel like I have like a certain thing I want to do lah in theatre. So basically for my theatre, I prefer something. For me, I started with macam a notion that is a theatre is a meeting point between literature and architecture. So from these two, because I write, so there's this literature and then this architecture, the space lah, or the time space. So theatre happens in between that thing, and I try to explore that, because usually if you go into the more conventional atau theatre making attitude, usually they will say it's all about acting or acting like actor. But to me, I think, yeah, of course acting is important, but I think I try to approach it through this means lah. So I try to see the other part. Yeah. So for me, when I said there's this like architecture and literature, so in my theatre usually I think the ambience or the atmosphere of the space, when people came to it, I want people to feel the ambience, because sometimes when people try to say about live performance or theatre compared to like digitalization or video recordings, they will say about the feeling of being alive, the acting or something. But to me, there's also this ambience that you cannot translate into digital means. Like when you come to a certain theatre that use this, that give you a certain kind of ambient, you cannot duplicate that thing. It's you need to be there.
Yeah, it's interesting because these few weeks we have been discussing a lot about how performing art makers putting works online because of the MCO situation, and should or shouldn't we do that, because we couldn't actually duplicate that experience of sitting in a theater and transform it into an online version. And to put a live performance online, to see a video, we're actually putting this work to compete with film and TV program that is originally in that format. So what is your take? Because I understand you're going to show that 3 full-length work starting next Friday online, and what is your opinion about putting a live performance, a theater piece, and to watch it online? What is your take on this?
I think because when it changes form, it's a new form lah. Because when it becomes a video, because there's video art, there's film. The audiovisual art form is very diverse. So whenever a thing changes form, I think it's part of the process. You just need to know the new form lah, because you can't say that theater recording is a theater. Of course, it's not. To me, it's not a theater because it's already taken a new form. But how do you manage that new form lah? And then I think what I think yang membezakan, differentiate between macam live experience and like watching film or video is that when you see live performance, you use both your eyes and both your ears. This is very different with when a video is being recorded. Usually it use single lens. So single lens is like one eye. But of course, when you portray it back in the internet or you project it, you watch it again with both your eye. But the point is that it is being recorded with like one eye and not one eye, one lens, one eye, because being alive in a live situation where you watch with both your eyes and both your ears, you can really control your hearings, because there are certain things you cannot capture digitally, like like it's between film and digitalization lah, because film capture the celluloid capture light directly, but digitalization is like pixel, I don't know, macam some color or something. Yeah, it's not macam real light. It's like macam light yang transmit through or LED or something, plasma TV. But in real situation, you can, for example, like analog photo and digital photography, the blackness.
Yeah.
It's different because of course it's very different when you see the shadows. There are certain things you cannot capture, but of course, you need to know how to handle the new medium.
Yeah. Do you also work with film?
Actually, I started. I like film. I make like many short films lah. So, and I like in Alam Budiman here we have this like film screening club called Wayang Budiman. It has been 5 years, but of course now dia tengah tunda. So and my blog is called Ben Film because I like film.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So do you have plans to work more with film?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Because dealing with actor from theatre background, actually they are more. No, because I think in the industry usually there's this like macam celebrity type where not celebrity, it's like macam more. It's not like actor. It's like more. I don't know. Dia macam something different between an actor who has a base in theatre and an actor who just act in advertising or something. Of course, there's a mixture, but I think through theatre, I think dia macam pelajaran yang bagus untuk actor to not experience, to just be on the stage and perform, because the idea of performing tu lah. Because I think an actor needs to perform lah, because I think yang problematic with certain actor yang tak perform sangat, because I think dia tak perform.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. So let's pick one more question before we go into Q&A. I think there are already some questions coming in from audience, but before that we can do one last one. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 10.
One. Number 1.
Okay. All right. Oh. When do you feel you are an artist? When?
Actually, I never feel I'm an artist, but I do. I just do my work. Like, I think it's like just working. But one thing I didn't mention earlier is that apart from film and many diverse things that I like, I also, one of the things that I really like most is poetry, actually, because I think what is, I don't know, when we say about art, usually people will and in all art, usually when we say it's very poetic or very macam there's this sense of poetry, is like a good thing, or it's like macam because I realized this with film and theatre. When I do theatre, people said it cinematic. It's too cinematic. It's like for film, not for theatre. So there's this like, it's not macam pujian lah. It's like you're in it's not supposed to be cinematic. It's supposed to be theatrical. Or when I do film, they said it's like too theatrical, not cinematic. So but when you said it's poetic, it's okay, because I think all art should be like poetry. Music, architecture. I think all art should aspire to be or has that poetic quality. But I think, because I'm not a poet, so because I think to write a poetry is the hardest, because when you write a poetry, it need to be absolutely poetic. But when you do theatre or film, actually at least it can have some sense of macam poetry punya feeling, but it doesn't need to. So it's like dia macam kalau dia happens memang bagus.
Yeah. Do you actually practice as an architect? still, or not
No,
anymore?
I just kerja kejap, yeah.
Okay, I think there were a few questions coming in from audience. We can actually pick them up from here. So question 1, what's a left field theatre maker and why do you consider yourself your artwork that? What's a left field theatre maker?
Left field is like, it's in music. I found this in music, but the etymology is from a baseball game. Baseball. Apa bola lisu? Baseball. Yeah, American baseball lah. So left field is like, usually people don't, macam dia ada dia punya cara tu, bila orang nak habiskan home run tu atau run tu, dia kalau bola tu datang dari left field, dia macam tiba-tiba, dia macam jarang-jarang. So in music also, there's this left field pop, left field techno, left field something. It just give an idea that dia macam, in a normal word, is unconventional lah. So I just use it. I applied it to just it sounds nice to me. Left field theatre maker. There's a field and there's not many much people there. So yeah, I think.
And why do you consider your artwork that?
Yeah, because I don't, when I do theatre, I really don't know what theatre is. So the way I approach it is not conventional. So I have no idea about what theatre is conventionally. But of course, when I started doing it, I tried to read a lot about it, about the history, and yeah. So I consider myself left field because if I consider myself like traditional theatre maker, I think I'm not traditional or conventional because I don't know. Dia macam the way I make theatre also, the scenography is also, to me, when I do the scenography, not the macam the theatre set, it should be like sustainable because in architecture, sustainability is like very maybe people already hated the word because one thing I realized in each macam different genre or art form, there's always this like macam dia punya macam trending words or something lah. Like if you say about sustainability in architecture, it's like macam very old-fashioned or postmodern. If you say postmodern, it's like macam deconstructivism is like my 60s, but somehow it translates into the other art form and slowly, gradually, and then. So by having this like overview, you know, like actually each art form macam is having a like secret dialogue or something. They are talking to each other, but you don't realize it. So I think that is the advantage of having you put yourself at a distance and you can see different art form talking to each other.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, there's more. There is an architect who makes his works based on curves. How do you relate your architecture ideas and theatre? I think this is very similar to another question down there is, do you see your architecture training reflected in your literature or theatre making? So basically, how did that training of architecture translate in your work or it didn't? So did that actually happen? How?
Yeah, because I think it should translate because it's my like formative years. I think each individual should have their like macam formative years to fail in something or to learn something. But for me, whenever I write novel or make film or macam make theatre, all the elements in architectural study actually boleh apply je, macam easily can be applied because it's about like order, form, shape. Because when you create art or make art, actually you try to give shape to something, and there are many shape in architecture because architecture is like is it Gutta or something said it's a frozen music because when you listen to music, it's like very abstract because you don't see it. But because architecture is frozen, music that is being frozen, so you can see like many different shape. Like in Brazil, you have Oscar Niemeyer. Like there's so many architects in the world. In Japanese, you have like Tadao Ando or something. There's so many philosophy and way of seeing or doing, and that's why I like what I like about architecture, because it's literal, but because it's space and space and form and space, so it's literal, but at the same time you feel the ambience. It's between physical and spiritual. It's like it's both, because to give some sense or meaning to something, you give some form, but actually you also give some atmosphere that you cannot see or feel. So of course, in my theatre works, when I say sustainable, usually we use like macam mundane material. We use macam plastic, because to me, when I do theatre, when I see like traditional theatre, usually they macam ada banyak pokok or something out of set rumah kayu. Sometimes it turns into macam garbage or something. I don't know, macam adakah dia reuse balik? Because to me, dia akan jadi garbage or rubbish, because maknanya kena buang lah the set design. So to me, I use macam things that can be folded, macam plastic, material paper. If you when you see my theatre works nanti during buka archive, you will see that I use the space itself as the set, because each space has its own ambience that it's being overlooked by makers. And from my position, because when I do theatre, I have never experienced like black box or auditorium. Usually I get macam kongsi KL, a warehouse, macam this 100 Street at Port 25 is like macam ada architecture firm and apa macam tempat orang kerja ramai-ramai, co-working space, slots like empty co-working space. So I have like macam the space is already there, and I just need to embrace it instead of like impose some other world into it, because I think the space itself is part of the narrative of my play lah.
Yeah. So you have this sensitivity towards space that is coming from maybe the architecture training that helps you. Yeah. That's why, like, maybe in unconventional spaces, it resonates to you at some point.
Yeah, because because what I like, because when I did the earliest Teater Modular at Kongsi KL at that time, it's like I think like a year or 2 years ago. It's like very new. It's like one of the earliest. I think the second. It's like macam gritty. When I first go to Kongsi KL, I feel I was going like to Detroit or something, like very ghetto, very dangerous.
Yeah.
You don't know where you're going. It's very dark. So but I like that feeling. So so it gives a sense of danger, but actually it's like not that danger lah. It's like safe lah, because it's like it's not Detroit or something in Rio de Janeiro or something.
Yeah, but there is this flexibility, I guess, in spaces like this, because then it's playable in a way. There's one more question coming. At the final stage of your creation process, how do you justify the work is ready or accomplished? The second half. And my next question is, if you could turn back time, what changes would you like to make for your previous work? Okay, so 2 parts. So first is at the final stage of a creation. So how do you justify the work is ready?
I think macam based on macam gut feeling juga. Apa macam guts apa isi perut apa ada macam perasaan. So when I know it's finished, but it's not like totally finished, because for me when I do a restage, my macam when I think of restage, actually it's not like literal restage. It's like when you restage, you rethink it, apa macam fikir balik. There's this like macam tergamai, we restage it in a different form, in a different way. So for me, each work is it's a lifelong process or something like that lah for me, because actually macam for Mautopia, for example, or for Stereogamai, okay, for example, Mautopia, it started as a short film in 2010, and then it became a novel in 2012, and then it became a full-length play in 2015. with the actor studio in 2000. There's this reading 2018 or 19, something like that. So my work actually just travels through different medium. For Stereogama, it started as a short story, and then it turns into a novel, and then when it turns into a screenplay script first. We get a fund from Finas to translate it into a screenplay. But during my process of doing that screenplay, I test it by making it a stage play. So then came the theater, the stage works lah, the theater, and then the first one at Kota at Five Center, and then we do another stage in last year in Go Down. So different spaces means different way of doing theater. So for me, I think I get restless when I get new, like the space is like kalau I'm a painter, the space is like macam dia punya medium lah. Kalau kadang dapat watercolor, sometimes I get atau oil acrylic or oil paint. So the space is like this medium, and I need to know like how to create through. It needs a new thing. It cannot just simply you just copy and paste, because it need rethinking, readjustment, and then when you change space and then you change actor, of course everything changes. So for me, my work, or it's like, to me it should be ever changing lah. But of course there are two kind of work. There are like theater, it's more ephemeral. You come and go, and you move on. But sometimes when you do the video recording or film or novel, when it's being published, it stays there. But when you are doing new work, you're not supposed to use that as a base, because it's there already.
Yeah. So second half of this question, if you could turn back time, what changes would you like to make for your previous work? Because
for me, I'm sort of a person that has like no regret. So when I do something, I do really, I try to focus and betul-betul buat. But when I'm writing, because whenever I feel like I cannot write, I don't write, because I don't want to push myself. I need to understand my body, my mind, my spiritual health, or my, I don't know, I need to understand myself. So I don't want to push myself. But of course, whenever I do something, I have no regret about it. I think that is, it's being done. But if you want to redone it, you make new things, but maybe you re-examine it, you revisit, you make new work that have a dialogue with the old works, instead of you stick with the, because that's why lah. Because I think sometimes I cannot be sentimental to my works, because I need to move on. I need to think of the future.
It's true. Okay, last one. So what do you think will thrill you to give you that sense of danger if you have to stage your work in a conventional performance space?
Because in a conventional theatre space, because compared to what I did, because before this in conventional theatre space, actually it's like, I think by that it means the proscenium space. I think maybe not macam black bottom. It means that when you watch the theatre, you watch the overall image like in a cinema hall, because there are two types of theatre. When they are like more small scale, that is more very intimate and it's very 3D, that you are in it. But I think what conventional is you see it from the proscenium auditorium lah. You see like an image is being made. So the danger, I don't know what is the danger, but I think dia kena buat baru tahu. I need to do it, so I will realize it. But sometimes maybe the danger, I didn't realize it during the making of it. Maybe I think of it back or something. In retrospect lah. Maknanya sometimes, of course soalnya susah, so dia kena buat. think I need to do, and then I can articulate what is danger. I cannot like, I cannot propose, I cannot have like macam preconceived idea of what is danger, because and then it no longer become a danger because I already macam think about it. Yeah,
that's true. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you for those who follow this video. We do have a feedback form if you would like to fill that in and let us know what you think. And also you can name which artists you would like to see on our next season. So thank you very much, Ridhwan, for sharing with us on your journey. And please do remember to log into the YouTube channel and catch these 3 works of Ridhwan starting next Friday. We will share all the links that we mentioned in last 1 hour, so you can actually get information from there. So thank you very much. Stay safe and stay healthy.
thank you.
Right? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.